Support WrestleTalk!
Support each other. WWE revealed immediately after Monday's episode of Raw had finished airing, great timing, that a developmental talent had tested positive for COVID-19. This sent the company into panic mode, cancelling taping plans for Tuesday and requiring everyone who came into contact with the positive case from June 9th to be tested immediately. WWE reportedly planned on restarting their tapings yesterday instead, which would have been a very quick turnaround to ensure no one else had tested positive. And unsurprisingly, it didn't happen, with them having to scrap the SmackDown tapings while awaiting test results to come back. This scramble has caused even more unrest backstage in WWE than usual, which is a pretty high bar even outside working during a pandemic, with WrestleVotes tweeting out a text from someone at the Performance Center saying WWE had a complete, unbelievable lack of leadership, full-blown cluster. They should be embarrassed. Total clown show. Don't give Vince McMahon ideas for a clown-themed episode of Raw. WrestlingNews.co adds that the friends and family members that were featured in the crowd on Monday's episode of Raw came back for these tapings, which many wrestlers weren't told about on Monday and only realised people from the outside were being let in when they were in the ring wrestling their matches, and this caused a lot of unhappiness among the wrestlers. One source told them there was already uneasiness about working the tapings with developmental talent acting as fans, but at least those wrestlers were not travelling across the country, whereas this is not the case for the friends and family. And it seems this lack of confidence in management has led to yet another high-profile wrestler pulling out of the WWE tapings. Following both Roman Reigns and then Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn refusing to work during the pandemic, Fightful Select is reporting that Kevin Owens has also now walked away from WWE as he missed yesterday's attempt at restarting the Performance Center tapings. Owens reportedly told management he wouldn't be attending the Raw tapings because of WWE's recent positive COVID-19 case. Owens is said to not have any heat from WWE because of his decision, but as we've seen with the company ignoring Reigns ever existed, to Zayn being stripped of the IC belt, this might not remain the case. WWE reportedly hopes Owens will be back in time for the next Raw taping, but right now, it's unknown how long he wishes to be away for. More wrestlers are also considering taking time off, so Owens might be the case where the dam breaks. Unfortunately, we now need to cover some very serious allegations. Yesterday evening, top independent wrestler David Starr was accused on Twitter of rape, emotional abuse, and gaslighting by his ex-girlfriend Victoria, revealing how she had to leave the wrestling community as a result. She also claims that Starr pressures a lot of women into sex. Starr has responded, arguing he is not a predator, but he had been an emotionally immature dickhead to his partners. He denied the accusations of rape, but admitted he had been emotionally manipulative and apologized to his former partners. Victoria has responded to this with even more tweets and details regarding the events in question, and has shown screenshots of messages between Starr and herself. Starr wrestled on our No Fans Monday show in March and appeared on Quizzlemania 10 2 weeks ago. We had no idea about any of these allegations. There's a lot more wrestling news today, so make WrestleTalk.com your homepage and find out about a potential return soon for a new Raw star, a WWE producer being rehired, and the latest in the Orton Ciampa feud by clicking the links in the video description below. But for now, here's last night's AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. After a new Dynamite intro complete with Sammy getting hit by a golf buggy and so much blood, the proper episode opened on a tag team title match between champions Hangman Page and Kenny Omega against the Natural Nightmares Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, which was a very decent opener that felt very important for Team Nightmare. But, as best friends Chucky T tweeted, "Oh F word, I forgot about another team getting a title shot before us, so we might have to fight the other Dustin and my middle school gym teacher, along with the 11 people they bring to ringside for some reason. What are the rankings? What are the rankings?" While Dustin and QT might not have had 11 people there, they did have 2, with Brandy Rhodes eventually being joined by Yoko Ali. Even though it seems she'll eventually turn on Marshall, it wasn't here, when she just watched QT eat a V-trigger buckshot lariat sandwich where your body is the filling. Next up, we got an episode of Justice League Dark where Zatanna fought off an evil interdimensional monster. This was actually a really smart piece of booking, as Anna Jay got a red herring hype video before the match indicating AEW were behind her, when it was really the absolutely terrifying Abaddon who got the squash victory. Abaddon was announced as All Elite shortly after on Twitter. She has one of the most visually disturbing looks I've ever seen for a wrestler, and yes, I'm counting Batista's tight jeans and nose ring. And that wasn't the only development in the women's division this episode. In fact, after months and months of copy and paste segments, we got multiple new lady angles on this show, as the Dark Order then came out to help the losing Anna to the back, potentially as the faction's first female recruit, while Evil Uno gave an envelope to Colt Cabana at ringside, probably with one of those multi-year WWE/Scientology 1 billion year contracts. MJF was neatly elevated over a very established legend next, with Billy Gunn initially no-selling his hijinks for MJF to viciously attack Gunn's angle and win with the diamond ring. MJF had a really cool brawl with Jungle Boy at ringside afterwards, keeping that eternal feud spinning. Then came my favourite story of the night, Britt Baker putting Tony Schiavone in a friendship timeout. After passing him messages on a pulley system from her Rolls-Royce wheelchair platform, mostly accusing Aubrey Edwards of a conspiracy against her, the currently out-injured Baker then flipped at Tony for announcing Penelope Ford to be taking on Shida at Fyter Fest, so much so that she asked Rebel to drive her away, but Big Swole had taken the wheel. Later in the night, Rebel found Baker in a dumpster, where Britt promised revenge on Swole with a banana skin on her head. AEW have done an amazing job keeping Baker as a top heel on TV, even though she can't currently wrestle. Thanks for your support on Patreon. He's no jackass, Dano. After teasing he was annoyed with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega for not helping him last week against Jake Hager, potentially setting up an Elite versus Nightmare Family civil war down the line, Arn Anderson revealed this week's TNT title open challenger, former NWA television champion Ricky Starks. Cody retained in yet another fine encounter, and using a wrestler from outside AEW was a very effective development in the invitational gimmick. I personally think that makes a promotion feel far more relevant and significant than, say, ignoring that any other wrestling companies exist outside yours. Also, it sows the seeds for an eventual huge interpromotional match, like when Marty Scurll finally answers, or Okada, or John Cena. John Cena to AEW, I'm getting carried away with myself. Since FTR's revival, arrival, AEW's already world-leading tag division has gone into overdrive, with its own distinct mid and upper card. It's so much depth. You can have upper card team The Bucks take on mid card team Superbad Squad here, while still feuding with other mid card team Butcher and the Blade at ringside, and upper card team FTR and the champions Page and Omega. And that's not to mention Best Friends, Death Triangle, and Proud and Powerful. It's incredibly exciting for the art form, and is over-delivering on one of AEW's founding promises, to push tag team wrestling as just as important as singles competition. The finish was when the Bucks overcame Jimmy Havoc's some kind of mallet to win, prompting a huge tag division brawl. Taz then cut an awesome promo on Moxley, which was answered by a Mox vignette, where he seems to be feuding with Taz over who's the more miserable git, just as much as he is against Cage for the title. And for the main event, the latest version of Matt Hardy, announcer Matt Hardy, joined the commentary team to watch Best Friends get their revenge on Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, where an ad break cut Guevara singing Jericho's entrance theme short. Instant heel turn AEW. But it wasn't just about avenging their fallen orange. A tag title shot at Fyter Fest was also on the line, even though I thought Best Friends already had that. So they won it again. when Trent kicked out of Floyd interference and a shooting star press to pin Sammy. Trent versus Jericho could be a big feud down the line. But before then, we've got Y2J versus Orange Cassidy, who revealed himself as a ring crew member who actually gives an F-word by attacking Jericho with passion. That was this week's AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comments down below, where I'll be replying by sending you notes from off my wheelchair platform. This was a great episode for the women's and tag divisions of AEW, really building on the talent they have. Aside from that, by Dynamite's own high standards, this felt like the calm before the storm ahead of next month's Fyter Fest. This week's Dynamite is middle of the roads. Become a WrestleTalk Pledgehammer on Patreon today! Because the brand new episode of WrestleTalk Extra has been exclusively released there yesterday. This month, Luke and I review the real greatest wrestling match of all time, Omega vs. Okada 4, and the rest of the excellent Dominion 2018 show. Click the P on screen now for that and loads more exclusive content. And Quizzlemania 12 was last night. Jam that jam and watch Vince Russo's favorite wrestling game show by clicking the video over there on what are 12 moments that got WWE in serious trouble. Click the video below that to watch Adam Blompier's latest list video. Follow us on Twitter at WrestleTalk_TV and me at Ollie Davis. That was wrestling.